Welcome back. We're on part two of episode 63 of Smack Talk, and we're on the hot tags. And I'm liking this new format, like everybody else seems to be liking. So that's how we're doing it from now on until I decide once more to have TN and switch everything around and do something different. Where we don't really have a set time limit anymore because really, I mean, I'm just tired of it. And we're gonna do the tag in kind of a thing and all that, which I don't know why I didn't think about that before because it's called hot tags. So that's just idiot Tony coming into play. Our three hot tags. We have a potential fourth one, and sometimes we just throw some extra ones in there. But our three main topics today are some possible Hall of Fame names other than Mick Foley, which are Bam Bam Bigelow, Bob Backlund, Mr. T, Kamala, and Trish Stratus. Eve Torres quits WWE, and Trent Barreta tweets that Kofi Kingston is an asshole. He says, I'm going to start with that one. Trent says, now that I'm fired, I can finally say it. Kofi Kingston is an asshole. Kofi replies to Trent, or at Trenty Locks, I never wanted to shake hands with you, dot, dot, dot. And Trent replies again, yeah, and we won't ever again. I don't know if this is like real or not. This is one of those things where like they were friends and they just kind of like bullshitting and look at that, the internet's gonna think we're hate each other or something like that. But if it is true, what the hell do they argue about?
Well, it doesn't seem like a huge messed up argument, does it? It's sort of like, yeah, I hate you, I hate you, done.
Yeah, so I don't know what they could have possibly have done to each other that make each other hate each other, but the first thing that ran through my mind was maybe Kofi was single at one point and flirted with AJ, and there was a whole big thing like that because AJ was dating Trent for a while. I don't know if she still is, or
Lucky bastard.
maybe Trent Barreta was jealous because Kofi is a similar wrestling style and it was so much higher up in the card and all that. Anybody want to tag in with
Or
the Trent
both.
Barreta thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tag in. Trent, you're a bastard. You dated AJ. What, do you have a big cock? Is that what it is, Trent? Is that what it is? Honestly, though, it seems like one of those things where I think he's jealous at the push that Kofi keeps getting. I know Kofi has never managed to break that glass ceiling, but I doubt there's anything huge between the two. Maybe he feels that Kofi was the reason he got released. Who knows? Or his push got derailed. I'm tagging you in, Braden. Give you 2 cents.
I actually, if it's just razzing, I could see it just being like them working the internet, like, oh, I'm fired. I know Kofi. I'll say he's an asshole. Kofi thinks of a reply, and then they work people just for the sake of, well, it's the internet. They can believe anything,
Right.
basically. That's the only thing I can really think of that makes sense. But if not, like, what the fuck? It's the
Yeah.
most random thing ever. Yeah, the guy who smiles the most on camera, man, he's the biggest asshole.
Right. To screw the
Okay.
Triple H or the John Cena or all these people that we keep hearing hold people down. That Kofi Kingston, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when I read, I'm like, what?
Let's
Oh,
see.
just fucking funny.
Does anybody want to tag in with the Hall of Fame names? I kind of think, well, they all sort of deserve it except for
Yeah, I'll
Kamala.
tag it. Bam Bam Bigelow was, even though he wasn't really the biggest star in the WWF, I can say he did headline a WrestleMania, even if it was against a football player.
The main
Um,
event at WrestleMania with a football player. That's
it's a,
that's a feat. That's a feat
I
in
know,
itself.
but what I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a pretty big player in ECW. He's well known. I mean, names like him have gotten in before. Like, they might not have been the biggest superstars, but they certainly left an impact. Backlund, I think that's like second nature. Absolutely makes sense. It's probably a long time coming if he finally gets inducted this year. I'm surprised he hasn't been inducted already. And then
Yeah.
with Trish, another good choice. Like, throwing out two major Hall of Fame things they could have done if they ever come back to Toronto. They're already inducting Edge, and then, if Trish goes in this year, that's like two huge Toronto stars that they'll probably throw Christian in for when they finally go back to Toronto. And Mr. T,
Chris Jericho. I'm from Winnipeg, assholes.
Winnipeg, you idiot. Anyway, Mr. T, big time celebrity for the WWF at the time during the first WrestleMania. He definitely makes a lot of sense. And Kamala, as well, is very well known and is considered somewhat of a WWE legend as well, due to even though the character just reminds me of just a horrible racial stereotype. He did have some very high profile feuds. So I think that'd be a pretty good class if they keep up with it, especially with Foley going in already.
You want to tag in for that, Mike?
Yeah, there's a rumor about the Click or DX or something going into that at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a whole lot going on
Yeah.
with that. Because Triple H hasn't been inducted, and I think they want to do that separate or something like that. They might do that for
It's him
X-Pac.
going times, okay? Like, they'd induct him with the Click. They'd induct him as DX.
Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution.
Himself, and then eons
the corporate
later,
ministry.
Yeah.
They'll induct him in Evolution, and he'll have 4 rings. Right. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah. Then they'll induct him with Ric Flair as well. Flair will have like 3, and Triple H will have 5.
Triple H will still beat him by 1.
Yeah. Triple H will like come in for his acceptance speech. Flair will be carrying his bag.
Click and DX.
Flair will be walking around with a donkey. There you go, champ. Woo!
I don't think that DX is going to ever go in as DX. I think what we're going to see is Kevin Nash going by himself, Triple H going by himself, X-Pac maybe going by himself, but the New Age Outlaws going together.
Even look, you had Foley say that no one cares about you. That's how bad it got. I don't think X-Pac is going to... he's done a lot in the WWE, but at the same level, his ego got the best of him. But we'll forget about that for a second. The Hall of Fame inductees, Trish Stratus, totally would love to have her in there. She deserves it more than anyone from that sort of era. Mick Foley, kudos to Mick. I love the fact that Mick's going in there. He should be the headliner, but apparently he might not be. T, yes and no. The thing is, I could wait for Mr. T to get inducted another year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could, but if
celebrity
him in there,
like Mike Tyson, it does make sense.
It does, yeah. And Pete Rose. But yeah, I'm totally like up for that. That's fine. It's, as soon as we get confirmation in regards to who's going in and who isn't, because the only person we've actually got a solid confirmation on is Foley, I believe.
Yep.
And I think Kamala might be a given. Yeah. Kamala might be a given, but we'll see what happens with that. But,
All right, well, I'm going to tag in with the Eve Torres thing that could backtrack a little bit with that. Eve leaving, everybody fucking is leaving WWE with this Divas division, and that's another huge blow. They've lost the Bellas, Kelly, Maurice, Beth, Karma, Eve. Like, they're dropping like flies.
Yeah, but Karma never left. Karma was actually released because she apparently just didn't want... After she had that miscarriage, she lacked motivation to...
But they still lost her.
Yeah,
it's a shame. Like, this is not going to help them at all, losing Eve. I mean, this is a division that sucks, and with Eve there, it still sucked, but now that means more focus on Caitlyn, more focus on Oksana, more focus on Rosa, and they're even worse. So they lost another of their better ones, even if Eve is not fantastic. But it's just, I'd rather watch Tyson Kidd wrestle than Eve. I'd rather watch Eve wrestle than Oksana. So that sucks. Who wants to tag in?
I'll tag in. Oh, go on, Braden. You go first.
The division is on life support. Plain and simple. I mean, just this year they lost the Bellas, Kelly, Beth Phoenix, and now Eve in rapid succession, right? Boom. All gone. Oh, technically Karma, too. Holy shit. Like, who do they have in that division that can actually work?
AJ.
Honestly. AJ, that's it?
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
I guess they could probably call up...
Natalia.
Yeah, Natalia. And then I guess they could call up Paige and whoever else can work from NXT. But holy, just wow. Like, to believe the division is this dead, it's just unbelievable. Like, and I can understand, especially like the rumors are that she wants to like start like maybe like a family life, settle down a little bit for that. But the division, if it wasn't in the shitter before, or if it was, now it's like just the fucking sewage pipe. Now it's
Hmm.
that is terrible. Like they have absolutely nobody. It's bad. It's just really bad situation for them. Can they save it? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. If you got more
I
to
was gonna
talk
say
about.
like the tag division was like pretty well dead for a while, and then they were able to kind of build it back up. But I think this is even in worse shape than the tag division at its worst.
I'll tag in on this one. Eve, the thing is, right, this is what happens when you bring women in who don't have a passion for the business. They go through Diva Search and they end up, just using the WWE for the contacts so that they can be like bigger stars when they go back into their modeling career or do film and television acting and stuff like that. This is what's going to happen with these sort of divas that you're bringing into the company, and the best way for them to actually deal with it would have been to hire actual female wrestlers. If they want to rebuild the division properly, you've got the former Alyssa Flash out there, a cheerleader Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the best divas in the bloody industry, and she's never been signed to the WWE. You've got loads of quality women talent out there. Just because they're women doesn't mean they can't look hot and can wrestle as well at the same time.
Yeah, just
I
because
would
they're women
love,
doesn't mean they can't draw.
yeah. You know,
Knockouts.
the same thing goes. If I was Dave Prazak, I would hire, if I was WWE, I would hire Dave Prazak and get him to, get women's wrestlers into the
Yeah.
right divisions. Because
He's a booker for Shimmer, is he not?
he is. He's the main booker for Shimmer, and he's a really good one. If you look at the talent and the way he utilizes them, they get a good following. They actually sell pay-per-views. At the end of the day, the WWE doesn't have to focus on, saying, "Oh, women's matches are just passe." They're not. Have them in there. Let them put on a strong match. And in the end, I know they're sort of being called like piss breaks and stuff like that. But if you have a strong enough talent, people will stand and say, "Hey, this person's hot," or "This
Yeah.
person's hot."
Well, if you give people a reason to care, they're going to care. If you
Yeah.
clearly don't care about something, your audience isn't going to give a shit, and that's why they call them piss break matches.
Yeah, exactly.
And that should be it for the hot tags. We're gonna go into the superstar scores next part with had a flashback to the tournament with the Shawn Michaels score and then the TNA Genesis talk.